Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Monday Night's Paranormal Question of the Day. We'll be right back right after a short intro. Hey everyone, this is Darren Buss for Paranormal Question of the Day. Tonight's guest is Brandon BLUMHART. He is from Strictly Paranormal. You can find him on all sorts of social media under Strictly Paranormal, especially our YouTube channel. We'll get to learn about Brandon and his group and their paranormal adventures. They are new to the paranormal field, so come on by, join us for the ride. Get some coffee, get some popcorn, get some soda, whatever have you. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're coming up next. And we are back. So, like I said, we have Brandon BLUMHART with us tonight from Strictly Paranormal. How you doing, sir? Welcome to the show.
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Momentarily, hopefully somebody will show up in chat and say screw football, but
Yeah.
Other than that, yeah, how's your Monday going? And do you liking the cold spell that we were having?
It's I haven't gone outside at all. I've been inside.
Hey, Penny.
Got yeah, got it. Had to get my truck in the garage to get all the snow off of it, melted, but yeah, it's been cold. Ow.
Yeah,
Neg-
I think it's supposed to get down like -10, I think.
we've been negative for like the last 3 or 4 days now. Negative
Okay.
20s, 30s. So it's been cold. But
Whereabouts are you located?
Davenport, Iowa.
Okay, Davenport, Iowa. Yeah, so
So
you guys got hit pretty hard.
yeah, yeah, we did. A lot of shoveling.
Yeah, that's the thing too, is I had a snowblower. I have a snowblower, but it wasn't working because it started smoking. So I had to do everything
Oh,
by shoveling. Oh my God, I think I ripped the crap out of my forearm here because it's still all
oh,
numb.
yeah, yeah.
So
Our snow is the battery ones, but those things they don't last very long. I mean, we get the driveway done, but we go and do our neighbor. She's older, so we try to get that done for her.
yeah, yeah, I hear you there. I used to do that for other people too, but life got in the way. So Brandon, would you like to tell everybody who you are and how you got into the paranormal field?
Yeah. Well, obviously, I'm Brandon Bloomhart. I got into the paranormal field. I would say probably 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago. I didn't really start doing it till uh the year of 2021, 2022, October, somewhere around there. I don't remember. I've been doing this about a year and a half investigations wise. But my girlfriend Sydney really got me into it. Like I would tell you before meeting her, never would watch a horror movie, would not watch anything to do with ghosts, demons, anything like that. It's just I was born into a very Christian family. Still I'm a Christian. Dad's not a big fan of me doing this. Mom's not a big fan, but she really got me into it by watching some YouTubers. And I really enjoyed how they did it. Enjoyed their personalities, and I was like, you know what? I can do this. So I ended up going to one of overnight's event and did the investigation at the old old Joliet prison, and from there it was like, yep, I'm doing it. I'm doing it, and didn't look back. Haven't looked back since. So
Wow, that's a good start to be in Juliet Prison.
yeah,
I've done a tour there. It's pretty big,
it's huge. Yeah,
but no, that's a good story. I mean, I it's the same thing for me in like 2015, 2016, where me and my wife watched the shows and like, hey, we could do this. It ain't that hard, you know. But I fully got infested like in the 2017, 18. Um, so yeah, it's quite a journey, a good start. We
Well,
got Carmen in chat and Taryn saying hi before here. She's popping in before she heads out. So, uh, yep, that's all right, Taryn. We got you. It's all good. Yep. She watched Ghost Hunters, and yeah,
yeah.
I think we all started with Ghost Hunters, and you know, there's William Walter. How's it going, Bill?
So Bill,
And yeah, so that's just yeah, there's only select a few tubers that she watches too. Yeah, it's the same thing for
yeah.
me. I mean, and it's Project Fear guys. I watch them a lot, but mostly it's I do a lot of can't get on Facebook for some reason. Ah, okay, that makes sense. Um, but yeah, I like watching the Facebook stuff because I can get more interactive in the Facebook and feel like you're actually there.
Hmm.
So, but that's kind of where my mainstay is. Um, but other than that, so you mentioned you went to Joliet Prison for investigating. How did that go for you for the first time?
It was quite nerve wracking. Because I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I mean, this was my first investigation. It was obviously gonna go on this huge YouTuber's channel. These were two guys that I've wanted to meet for years. I've been watching them for a while, and I was like, it was. I think it was as good as any first investigation can get. I mean, the group was 16 people. We were split up between the two YouTubers. Patty Negre, Negre, how do you, I don't know how to pronounce her
Negre?
last. Negre was
Okay.
there as well. Um, Super awesome woman, love her to death. Amazing to be around. Which was awesome to meet her. Your first investigation, you meet her. That was phenomenal. But the investigation itself was definitely it was I can't even explain. It was a chilling environment. A lot of it was felt dark, and I mean at the time I was working in a prison, so and Dave the Corey and Elton, the people, they went to everyone there that I was a guard. So that was I don't think they enjoyed that much, but but it was an awesome experience and definitely recommend if people are able to get in there to do an investigation. I don't know how accessible it is
Right.
to do it. I mean, it's a cool place. You definitely won't hit everything in one night because it's obviously too huge and there's a lot of things that are down because of damage from the years and I believe there was a fire there at one point.
Yep.
But definitely, even if you just want to go for the tours and stuff, the history behind it, it's super cool place. Um,
Yeah. I mean, $20 for a tour, self-guided tour is not bad.
no, yeah, and what was it? How long was the tour? Like a
Well, it was self-guided, so we could do it as long as
oh,
we
okay,
wanted.
yeah,
So if it was
that's awesome,
guided, I'm sure it was probably about an hour or two. But
sweet.
um, but I mean, you got to use yourself basically as a trigger object, being a guard already. So
Yeah, they sent me down the whole wing by myself, and that was exhilarating for your first time. I mean, sends chills down your spine walking
right.
down there. You just feel like you're being watched.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So now, do you remember what kind of equipment that you used in the first time investigation?
Oh yeah, Ovilus. We use REM pods. Uh, I mean EMF. What was I used the SLS camera. That's I kind of gravitated towards that and was using that. I didn't really get anything with that. Um, but we did did try to use it. Use the REM pod we did get to go off, which was exciting. I forgot what room that was in, but it was supposed to be their most haunted room or haunted cell.
Mm-hmm.
So that was exciting to do. And but yeah, we pretty much had any tool you can think of to use during that investigation. I mean, they literally just showed us everything. They're like, pick what you want, take it, uh, have a good time. And if there's anything, we had a chances if we wanted to go solo somewhere, we could. So, no, yeah, there's anything you'd use. So I used a lot of different equipment that night.
Wow. Yeah, my main thing is recorders. I love my recorders. Bill was just saying that he was there when he was doing construction so many years ago. Like, that's pretty cool. Didn't know that,
That is
Bill.
awesome. Yeah, yeah. I haven't done too much with recorders. I don't know why. I just
Hey, Kathy.
haven't yet. Um, yeah, I love using the music box. That's one of my favorite things. If I can get that to go off now, like I used to be able to get it off to go off, and
Right.
do see it, if it does go off now, I enjoy seeing it go off. But uh,
So with being a year in, or a year and a half in, sorry, uh, has your equipment array have changed since then?
yeah, stuff has like in the means of like what I used to what I used to use.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, I
Like, did you
there's
back
some
away from other stuff too?
sure. Like I said, like music box, I used to get out every investigation. Now it's kind of like, hey, like if I get to it, I get to it. Maybe not. It just you seen it. It's cool to see go off, but it doesn't go off very much anymore. Which it's good to see it go off now. It's also good to see equipment not go off instead of it always going off because you're like, okay, is this thing legit? Is this thing working? Or but now I use yeah, I would I would say definitely change. I don't use a whole lot for EMFs. Some of my buddies might grab one if they want to, but I won't use one normally. I tend to just really just talk, and I've used like I know a lot of people are not sure with like the whole app things on your phone, but I've gotten some pretty neat stuff through Spirit Talker. The other one, can't think of the name of it.
Oh,
But
necrophonics.
Necrophonics. So I've gotten some pretty cool stuff with that, and that's like what I tend to use a lot. SS method. I do a lot of SS now. That's kind of like my thing. I love to do.
Yeah, I believe you get really deep inside of your environment when you're doing that because you're sensor deprivation, so to speak. Um, and there's a Delco experiment, which I've seen that play out, and that gets a little crazy too. But um, Spirit Talker is one of the main ones we use a lot, and I've gotten a lot of success from Spirit Talker, so I'm really pleased with that app.
Yeah, I enjoy both apps. Spirit Talker. Yeah, you get a lot of good, especially if you do it while someone's under SS. It is pretty cool. Like we've had some crazy stuff line up. So it's kind of unique.
Right, right. So, Strictly Paranormal. How'd you guys come up with that name? Just kind of curious, just because we like to get curious.
Yeah. So before this all started, I started this with one of my best friends, Dylan. Me and him started the channel, and we were sitting there one night, and we were like, I was like, I really want to do this. I know you wanted to, because we would watch new episodes that came out for different creators and stuff, and the YouTube name. And we're going through all the. And if there was someone that already had a name that was already decently huge, it was like, ah, crap, that was a good name. That was a good name. And I don't know how it came to be, but I just was just trying to figure out anything that fit with paranormal. And for that, I was like, oh, Strictly Paranormal sounds pretty good. Let's look that up. And to my surprise, no one had snag that name up. I think it's a
I think
decent
it's
name.
fitting. I think
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
fitting.
but now it keeps me in that genre that I have to just do paranormal, and I can't really branch off of it. But
Well, there's a lot of
I
different things they can do with it yet.
sure,
I mean, I have MGS Paranormal, but I also, do shows like this that branches off with that. So you can do shows instead of, always being out in the field. So
yep,
you got a lot of leg room to play with on that. So, but and YouTube is YouTube. YouTube is very difficult at times.
yep. I'm struggling right now on it. I had a really good spurt. Now YouTube just was like, you know what, throw you off to the side, and so it's been a struggle. I've been focusing more on my TikTok live streams, and I'll still post my YouTube videos, um, the movies, full
Right.
investigation. But I've been trying to focus on that TikTok side to build that following up, so that hopefully some of that transfers over to YouTube as well. Which it seems to be going pretty well right now on the TikTok side of things.
Well,
Uh,
and you can get paid off of there too, just as much as you can get paid off of YouTube.
oh yeah, and I think you can
So
get paid a lot quicker too.
yeah, yeah. We have Jamie Lynn in chat. And Bill was saying that you could do cryptids and
Yep,
all sorts of different stuff with that. I mean, anomalies,
yep,
you know. So you got a wide range of stuff to do.
and dance groups.
And
Can't forget
dance
about
groups.
that.
Yep, yep. Bill is on it today. Um, so at this point in time, how many locations have you done so far? And is there one that you just feel like, yeah, this is okay, but I won't go back? Uh, that type of deal?
I so I believe we've either been to 10 or 11 different spots. Um, there Pine Lawn Manor in Illinois, I would say, is a spot. Very cool history behind it. Very cool, but don't think it's haunted.
Okay.
In my just from the whole night, it could be. I could have. We could have had a bad night. I mean, just could have been dead that night by
Right,
all means.
right,
But it was also there wasn't anywhere to sleep. There wasn't no toilets or anything. You had to go drive to the gas station, which was like a mile and a half away, or use the woods outside. Which I'm a man, so I just went out to the woods or whatever behind the place. But for like my girlfriend was there, and so for her, it's a little more like I gotta go. I need to use the restroom. So she would have to go drive up to the gas station. But other than that, it was a cool place. But I don't have any plans in the future to go back there personally.
yeah,
But I'm glad I still went there though. I'm glad I've seen it. I guess Bill says I'll never be back to Broadhead, but
everybody goes back to Broadhead
oh, everyone does. Yeah.
multiple times. That's a place, near and dear to my heart that you'll never get sick of going there because it always changes. It
Oh
always
yeah.
changes.
It's an amazing place. I mean, even just last year, 2023, I went there 5 times. 6 times. Sorry, 6 times.
Bill said he scared the crap out of you,
Yeah,
but
that was a scary one.
well, it's gonna be interesting once Bill and his partner get up to live up there full time at some point. I know they're working hard on getting that done, so it'll be a nice relaxation for them knowing that they can just be there and not have to go back and forth to where they have been living.
Yeah,
So
they do a wonderful job too. I mean, love both of them. They're both awesome, and can't wait till this year to be back up there at Broadhead.
yeah, spirits in the spring, June
Yep,
1st and 2nd.
yep.
Uh,
I'll for sure be there.
yeah, I'll be getting a table at some point. Bill, while you're in chat, far as table goes, as wise, do you need the money up front right away, or is that I can pay that on the day and I get there? Kind of let him answer that for a second.
Yeah. I did see the Bigfoot, the broadhead Bigfoot.
Yeah,
That was a fun night.
Ron makes some really cool stuff.
Oh, on some awesome stuff, yes.
Wish I had that kind of talent to do that too.
No, I know.
I mean, just imagine to think about that, how big that place is. It's like you could make a big time movie theater out of there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a
Yeah.
beautiful place.
I need to sign a contract. Okay. Okay. Gotta sign a contract. All right. Thank you, Bill. I'll be contacting you towards the end of the week about that. And okay, before March. Okay. Definitely get that done before March. Nick Sarlo. All right. Um sorry, that's my mic. My eyes are
Oh, you
watering.
good. You're all good.
um so the paranormal in general, generally speaking, how do you feel about it? Do you think it's come a long way? Do you think it's changed quite a bit from what it used to be? Um, and do you believe it's going in the right direction, or do you think that there's a lot of changes that need to be made?
So, for my stance, I'm still fairly new into the paranormal. Like, only my girlfriend introduced me years ago, like probably 4 years ago. I would say 4 or 5 years ago. So, um, but in the sense of people creating content and videos, there's a lot of people out there that, now that I've done this, I've done it enough times now. I'm not saying that I'm do everything perfectly. By no means. There's a lot of stuff. Anyone can always improve on how you do stuff. But I think that it's building. It's building up. There's more of uh more
Mm.
people involved in it now. More people getting out since the internet and everything has gotten a lot bigger. A lot. There's more stuff, more places to watch this stuff on, not just YouTube or whatever. But I think it's tough because there's a lot of people that do it for the clout and do it for the fame.
Mhm.
And by all means, that's fine. But certain like people will notice that you're just doing it for the clickbait or the views and all that. And trust me, I would love to get massive views too, but I'm also not gonna fake all my stuff because
Right,
then
right.
I'm just lying to myself and everyone else that knows, and then it's just ruin potential relationships with everyone else. And I think there's a lot of people that do that, but then there's a lot of people that are doing it the right way that are not big and not getting those views because these other people are using these clickbaits. And
Yeah.
so I think there's definitely ups and downs, and I think there's a lot of stuff that can be hopefully fixed in a sense of a lot of these smaller people um getting those views that are doing it the right way and not chasing the clout and, oh, there's a demon, there's demon this, demon that, demon that. But no, yeah, I think now though there's definitely a lot more people involved in the paranormal. I mean, since before even the early 2000s. I mean, I think it's jumped up drastically. Um,
Thanks, Jamie Lynn.
but as far as I can tell, I'm not no expert. I haven't been doing this long enough or watching long enough to really have such a great input on it.
Well, the field is always evolving. That's the thing too. There's never going to be a shortage of learning, and I always say that if you feel that you've learned it all, then at that point in time, I think it's time to get out of the field.
Mhm.
Um, and hey, Nolan, how you doing? And yeah, I just think that there's lots to be learned. New equipment's gonna be coming out. There's new people that build stuff.
Yep.
So there's gonna be different eyes out there to see different equipment that can change the field in a very drastic way.
Yeah. No, and I love seeing new equipment out and people. Some of these people that make some of this equipment is it baffles. Like it just blows my mind because I'm not a person that can do that stuff. So when people are making these equipment, it's like that is crazy that you can do that, and that's awesome that they're contributing in a good way to all of us. I mean, that love to do this and giving us a new equipment to use, new ideas to use.
Hmm.
So I enjoy that a lot. I think it's awesome.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. Um, okay, so have you ever seen Ghost? In his mind, have you ever seen a ghost? Is what he's asking. Full body apparition, not as of yet. Shadows, yes. Brandon,
Shadows 100%. Uh, I don't know if you classify a crawler as a shadow as well. Probably not. But seeing crawlers, that's as far as I would say it. That's the most I've seen. Yeah,
so I haven't got anything across any like really nasty stuff. You really got to be in specific locations for that. I think that
yeah,
really calls out for it. Shadows, yes. Mist, yes. Visible ghost, yes. Yep. So
yeah,
Bill's seen it all,
yeah.
you know. And he's the lucky ones to get to see it all the time when he wants to. Um, but I mean, I have a friend of mine, Travis Wazaki. I mean, he Wazaki Paranormal. Um, he he makes these cigarette packs for REM pods and stuff like that, and he made me a Bible REM pod. Um, so he could do basically whatever you're looking for.
Oh yeah, you mentioned him last time we talked at Broadhead, I believe. About you, I seen the Bible and it was a REM pod, and you're like, yeah, he made that for me. He makes all these different knick whatever you want. I was like, oh, that's awesome. Like to be able to do that is just mind blowing.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like you had to come up with an idea about what it is, like an old train watch, those stopwatches
That's
or
awesome.
whatever. Those are what I want to have done, but those things are so tiny
Yeah.
that he said it'd be really impossible to kind of do it. So you have to hook something else up to make that be a possible thing. Um, but it's something in the works sometime down the road. Um, so what are your theories on like Bigfoot, like Bill was saying, and cryptids and stuff like that? What is your viewpoint on that stuff?
Oh, it's interesting. I'm not gonna knock anything that I haven't really pushed big into like the Bigfoots and all that, or skinwalkers and all that. Um, but do I believe I I'm not saying I don't believe them. I mean, I would be very interested in going down and seeing go to those places like the Skinwalker Ranch or whatever there is and all that. I think it's cool. I think of it just as like the paranormal. I mean, there's not a whole lot of proof. I mean, there's a lot of proof of everything, but a lot of people are going to say there's not a lot of proof. Um, but I'm not knocking it that it's not real or if it's fake. I don't know. I mean, I'm still a skeptic in that area.
Right?
Uh,
And it's
even
good to be
even some
healthy,
s- even sometimes in the paranormal, I'm a skeptic on certain stuff. I mean, but always won't knock it till I try it. So
right?
I
Right.
think I
Thanks.
think
Go ahead.
I would love to definitely get down at some places in prominent areas where Bigfoot's been sighted and skinwalkers and all that, and actually go down there and do investigations and see if we can encounter anything. Because that would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I mean, I have a specific rock for shapeshifters and stuff like that. See if that actually even works. Um, but I was just wanting to say thanks for stopping by, Bill, and yes, go have fun with Birthday Boy. So,
Let's
all right. Let's see here,
see you Saturday, Bill.
and yep, big hugs. Yes, big hugs.
Big hugs.
Now, when it comes to aliens and stuff like that, there's a lot of stuff out there with MUFON and all that stuff. Do you think that's another area that is like ignored more than what it should be? Like, do you think we should be investigating more on aliens versus than what we're actually doing?
Oh, it's an interesting. Yeah, there's part of me that thinks that we can't be the only ones here. Personally, I love space, and if there was any field that I would have got into if I went to college and stuff, it would definitely have been something with the universe and space and all that. But yeah, I think it. The only reason I think it gets ignored a lot, I don't think it's getting ignored. I think it's getting pushed down. It's getting,
Hmm.
you know, government and all that's trying to keep it quiet. They're not. They want certain information out that you know. But yeah, I think I I wouldn't be surprised if they're walking among us.
Yeah, like lizard people and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. Um. So yeah, I think it definitely would be cool to see people doing more stuff about aliens and all that.
Hmm.
I don't know if I would actually get into that. I would definitely be intrigued to watch and learn more. Because it is an intriguing field.
Yeah,
Just how they say like aliens maybe possibly helped build the pyramids and stuff, or directed civilization early on. There's just theories everywhere. I mean, about how certain stuff came.
right, right. And for a good person and to get a hold of that stuff is Mike Ricksecker. He's really good about that. Shadow people. He's got a few books on shadow people, and he's got some really cool stuff out there. So definitely check out Mike
Yeah,
Ricksecker.
I will have to.
Um, let's see. Um, is there like any limit far as driving to a location, or you're pretty much open to no matter what comes your way, as long as you can
I
afford it?
I am open to anywhere. I have plans for the future to do a week-long investigation trip all the way leading up to the Conjuring house.
Mm,
So I gotta pinpoint, get a week that works out and obviously fun. So it might not happen this year. Well, hopefully in 2025 it happens. That's my goal, is by 2025 make that trip happen. So
hmm
in the aspect of driving places, do I enjoy driving long distances? No, because there's just more planning of like, okay, now I have to figure out somewhere to stay. Or, you can stay at the place, but you can only be there for so long. So then it's like, and some of those places don't have the greatest sleeping arrangement. So I'm hoping either 2024 or 2025 to buy a camper, pole camper, to make it a little more accessible for me to travel longer distances. But if I have at least someone else with me, I'm fine to go however long it is, even though I usually get stuck driving the whole time. So,
Yeah,
but so it doesn't really stop me. I mean, um, I do enjoy. There's still so much to do around here. I mean, still got a lot of places to hit that are 5 to 6 hours away. I think that's still close. I don't think that's very far for me personally.
right.
Um, close ones are about 2 hours. Like Broadhead's pretty close to me. That's only 2.5 hour drive. So I think of that as really close. Edinburgh's only an hour and a half. So for those ones, it's like, oh, it's just a quick hop in the truck and drive over there and do the investigation and then drive back home. I mean,
Yeah.
but no, definitely. want to expand that range in the coming years.
Right, right. And that's just it. I mean, I agree. I mean, sometimes longer distances can be very difficult if you're not equipped to do that. You know, but that's just the way how the paranormal stuff goes, and the pricing too. I mean, I think a lot of these places are overpriced.
Oh, for
Um,
sure.
and it's mostly more out east that I feel it's more overpriced.
Yep.
Um, places are 2,200 for 8 hours, or jails are 1,500 for 8 hours. It's like you go to Malvern Manor, and I think it's like 450, and you get like 14 hours.
Yeah. No,
You
yeah.
know, you know,
Edinburgh, they're all good places that you get 12 to 14 hours to be there for a decent price and bring a decent sized group, and it's affordable. I mean, why wouldn't you go there? And a lot of like Edinburgh, for the place that it is active, like super active, super enjoyable to go every time. I mean, so some of these other places you go to, like I've been to the Sally House and I've been to Visca, and nothing tops Edinburgh for me yet, personally. So I mean, it just says a lot when you're going when I can pay this amount or go to Broadhead, pay
hmm
the amount to go to Broadhead, and rather than okay, I can go to Sally House and hopefully get something because it's so. I just think it's like it's over not overbooked, but so many people go there that it's either a hit or miss. You're either gonna get really good activity one night, and the next night there's not gonna be anything. If you land on that night, that you're there when they're kind of drained.
right,
There's not like you just spent all that money, and it's kind of just unfortunate. Will I still go back to the Sally House at some point? For sure. But I just think it would definitely be unfortunate going and spending $1,200 to a place and it being all right compared
right,
to going up to Broadhead and having a great night of activity and everything because you just know it's always a good time and always great activity.
right, right. Now, if you go back to the Sally House, make sure that you go about I think it's 2 blocks away is the McIntyre Villa.
Yep. I think my plan is to hit a few houses or a few do like a 5-day thing where I'm hitting all those places. So yeah, I
Mm.
realized that after I got done going to the Sally House that they were so close.
Right.
I did not realize that at all.
So what's been the most fun group you've had a chance to investigate with? And who would you like to investigate with that you haven't done yet?
Most fun group, I would say my favorite group that I investigated with was I had my close knit group of friends that they don't do this. They I mean I think they're not all of them are believers. Not all of them are they're all on edge and going and taking to we went to far far schoolhouse
Oh,
in
for our school.
yep, we went there and it was just an amazing experience just to see how they reacted and stuff, and it was a good time because I'm with all my best friends and it was just a good time and I thought it was a great investigation. Ethan just did one with him, Paranormal Paradox. Those guys are a great group of people. They're always fun to do an investigation with. Someone I would really love to do an investigation with. Man, tough. My goal, and I've always said this, was to go back with Overnight again and do another investigation with them again. Um, they're a group that I think is doing it right, and I enjoy watching them. And uh, I guess I have investigated with them, but I want to do it more as like a Overnight and Strictly Paranormal at some point, hopefully. But that's someone that I would very much love to do another investigation with, or do an actual investigation with.
Nice, nice. Um, So let's go to equipment here. Um, Now, like I said, we talked about recorders and stuff like that. Is there like a I should say experiment that you haven't done that you want to try, and you've already talked about the SS method, so that's one experiment that you already do. But what haven't you done that you're looking to achieve going forward?
Goal my or something I want to do is do basically, which we already did it. Never mind. Well, we did that one actually just last at Boyd House, which was a double Estes, but no one. It was just me and him at the house, and we did double Estes. And haven't looked through the footage yet, so we don't know how that went. But um, I don't know. It's tough to tell with equipment. What would I love?
Have you tried Tesla coils at all?
I have not tried Tesla coils.
I think you might like that, enjoy that. I mean, I use plasma balls. Um, I got a whole bunch of stuff in the back here that I use. Like static cams. I was always so big in like the Wise cameras. Um,
Yeah.
I have recently decided like, okay, Wise cameras, you really got to hook them up specifically to the location by Wi-Fi.
Hmm.
They can be somewhat of a pain in the ass to get hooked up sometimes. So what I just decided to resource to is using body cams that
Mm.
have good IR, and you could just set them up and
Yeah.
walk away. They run for 10 hours, and I don't know. I think I like that idea a lot more than using Wisecam cameras. But the only downside is that you can't monitor your cameras like that, though.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. I think body cams were one that I do want to get at some point, and because I got the uh, if you want to say the tactical vests and
Hmm.
stuff, and I wanted to get at least two, so you have two people, or if it's just me on a solo or whatever I do, have body cam footage, and because I might not use or if I'm doing someone else with the camera or have it set up, I kind of want my view. I don't know. I've wanted the body cams, but right now I'm just not in the financial spot to go out and buy those body cam ones. Those are
Yeah.
definitely
Well,
sick.
you don't have to go be expensive. I found some really good ones for $60 on Amazon.
Yeah.
So that I'll send a couple to me over during the week and just show you which ones I got. But
Okay.
don't go to Temu. Temu works on some things, but Temu is no,
Yeah.
no. I've learned my lesson. I've gotten burned by Temu so many
Mm,
times that
yeah.
it's like,
I
ooh,
just learned about Temu maybe a week ago, and
mhm,
since it's like I've just learned about it, I'm not fully trusting it yet. So I haven't done anything with Temu. I just kind of learned about it, so I'm like, I don't know how great of a service this is.
mhm.
Everyone says, or all these people that are promoting it and stuff. I'm like, okay, it's I don't know, like we'll see.
Yeah, I eliminated my app, and I just like I don't regret eliminating it because for one, it takes 2 to 3 weeks to get the stuff.
Oh, wow, Amazon's amazing at getting their stuff to you
Right.
quick and efficiently.
And the thing is like the action cameras, okay? I wanted to get a bunch of action cameras, turn it into night vision cameras, but you have to tear those things apart to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And I have broken 3 of those cameras. I'm like,
Ooh.
enough of this.
Yeah.
You know? But
Yeah.
and that's where the body cams come into play. It's like, screw it. Why am I gonna mess with these action cameras? I just use a body cam.
And that's what I do a lot in infrared. Um, I just like the way it feels. It gives it more of that you're in a dark place. You're doing. I mean, if you have it dark with your camera light, we do that sometimes. But I think it just looks cooler. I mean, when I watch people videos and they're doing infrared, I always enjoy it way more. So I ended up buying the Canon, I think it's Canon A70 or X70, XA70, and it has the IR option on it, and the quality it shoots and everything is just phenomenal. And that's my main camera I use most of the time, and I definitely enjoy it a lot. But I definitely want to get to the body cams and stuff because if you're sending someone on a solo, I don't want to be sending them with this big camcorder that they have to flip back and forth. Um,
Right. No, I get
but
that. The camcorder I have, it records 15 minutes of time and then it loops and covers up that last 15 minutes.
oh yeah,
So I don't like that. I gotta find a
yeah,
camera that lasts 45 minutes to an hour and then
yeah.
move on to the next session.
Oh yeah, my camcorder does amazing. I mean, it lasts for a long time. I mean, some locations the battery will last a while. Some locations the battery will be drained in an hour. I mean, just also depends on the energy that is pulling from that battery, which I have, make sure I bring plenty of fully charged batteries with me. But yeah, no, I understand.
Yeah. What is your take on like the Phasm cam from Ghost Stop? Mine recently just got fried from a stick that is supposed to keep it charged. When
Hmm.
those battery backup
Oh,
or
okay. Yep. Yep.
those sticks, yeah, it fried my Phasm cam and the stick,
Oh
and the
wow.
wire almost caught on fire.
Holy cow.
It was all
um.
happened within 5 minutes.
Wow. I have one. I have one, and I love it. I think it for if you're it's not a very expensive. It's a little expensive, but I think it shoots decently, and I do kind of like the grittiness of the capture it gives.
Hmm.
Um, and usually it's nice to if I do send it with someone, I'm not super worried if someone freaks out and drops it or whatever, or if something happens to it. It's a lot better than me sending my
It Canon.
the Canon with them or the Sony I have, and it's just like, yeah, you can have this to go do a solo. And the audio usually tends to be pretty decent on it. I mean, I haven't
Right.
had much of issues with it, so I do kind of like those. Battery does not last very long though.
Right.
That's the only problem. We've maybe gotten a few. You might be able to get two people through like a solo between both people going maybe 15 minutes, maybe each. Um, but other than that, depletes really fast. And if you don't have any chargers or battery packs with you,
Hmm.
kind of out of the count for the evening.
Right. Right. Um, Here's another question that I really sometimes I've asked it quite a bit, but I also feel that you could get multiple different answers out of this one. Uh, so the full spectrum cameras that give off all sorts of different colors that you can use, do you feel that that's a useful piece of equipment to use? Do you think that the different colors attract different spirits, or the spirit to attract spirits by you, or do you think they push them away, so to speak?
Uh, I'm not entirely sure whether it pushes away. I haven't used one too often to where they shoot off different colors. I do have a light that changes colors from red, blue, uh, or all those colors, yellow, orange. And I do like the red. Like I like switching from red to white to blue. I mean, even for video quality, I think it gives off a different look. But in the sense of a full spectrum camera, I don't know. I personally don't know. I think I've watched some people use it, and sometimes it looks unusual. Sometimes, depending on what they decide to use.
Hmm.
Sometimes I like the feel of the red. When they go into the red mode, I think that looks pretty cool. Blue, I'm not much of a fan of when it goes, but yeah, I have no idea if it pushes or pulls. I would hope it pulls in more, attracts more,
Right.
depending on what you use. But I have no idea.
Okay. Okay.
But
Fair
yeah,
answer. Fair answer. Um, Now here's also a big one. This is the biggest one in the field itself. Um, Orbs. Now, do you feel orbs are once in a great while, or do you feel like a lot of it's 99% dust, and then orbs come as they come and go?
I think I think you have personally. I think you got to be extremely lucky to see an orb. I think a lot of it is just dust and possibly bugs and stuff during whatever season you're in.
Hmm.
Um, they do happen. I personally have not had a orb happen on any of my videos yet. You do get those dust particles that float, and it's interesting because you can either say, yeah, that's an orb, but if I'm not 100% sure if it's an orb or dust, I'm not gonna say anything about it because I don't know. Like, I'm not gonna go out there and say, "Oh, this is an orb." Now, I don't. Yeah, I just think that it's a rare thing to see, and if you see one, that's awesome. Um, but
I've only
maybe
seen
it's
three, so
yeah, maybe it's just me that just is. Maybe there's people out there that are just extremely lucky and get multiple orbs.
yeah.
But personally, I haven't seen an orb yet. I mean, obviously, I've seen it on videos or and stuff, but yeah, personally, I have not had one show up in a video of mine. Or I know people have. The only thing I can come close to saying is I've seen like these flashing lights around
Okay.
people, like a flat, like just not even like a flash of light, just a small, tiny, like almost the size of what you would think an orb would be,
Right.
and just flash. Like I remember my girlfriend said, I just felt something touch my leg, and then I looked over by her, and behind her leg was this flash of light, just quickly just went flash and went away. And I I was like, I don't know. It could have been coincidence. It could have been, or it could have been an actual visual orb or whatever you would call them. I'm not really even sure, but I thought that was pretty cool. It's only a few times where I've seen those tiny flashes of light that you look over there and there's nothing that could put off light source like that. So
Right.
it also
Yeah.
could be my eyes tricking me. I mean, I don't know.
And that's the
But
thing. That's what you hear when you're sitting in the dark for so long, over an hour, your eyes could start playing tricks on you.
yep.
So, um, what is, let's see. What are your views on like another big one in the field, portals? What do you feel about that?
I don't like them. I don't like them. I do. I think portals are real. I think that's a real thing. But I think portals can come from a lot of things too. I mean, you open up anything, you do a ritual, you play with the Ouija board. I feel like you're almost sensibly opening a portal to somewhere, to something, and it's not saying it's always going to be bad, but it's not always going to be good. What comes out of it. I mean, but mirrors too. I mean, you have two facing mirrors. You've heard that one before, where it creates a portal.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're real. I try not to mess with those things too much because I don't know what I'm getting myself into in that situation. But who knows? And I haven't dealt with a whole lot. I haven't been in a whole lot of situations where I've dealt with those things. But like Ouija boards, I don't mess with. I just don't rituals and all that. I don't do all that nonsense because it's just something I don't want to bring. I already have like I've messed with the Ouija board before, and what's happened from it has not been good, and
Well, and that's
would
just
not.
it, a personal choice too, because there's a lot of people who do use Ouija boards for certain things, like uh, put like make cat balls and put cat balls on the Ouija board and see if you can get the cat balls live underneath the letter.
Yep.
Which is unique in
Yep.
itself.
I guess I did do an Estes method on a big old painted Ouija board in the basement of Berlin Tannery.
Haven't been there
So
yet.
I did that. I mean, I guess I kind of played with the Ouija board by doing the Estes method on top of it with the REM pod surrounding me and cat
Right.
balls and stuff. So, and that one, they said it was really dark. Whatever one was ever there was, I guess it wanted me alone or whatever down there by myself. And I was like, oh, I'm all right. I'm good. I'm not doing that.
Um, Now, I'm sure you've watched some of Ghost Adventure stuff. What is your intake and feel of the museum in Las Vegas that Zach Baggins has, that has all the trigger objects and stuff like that all in one spot and location? Uh, what do you feel? What are your feelings on that? And do you think that that's a danger zone? Do you feel like it's something to go and like, hey, learn about all the history that's where it's come from, so to speak?
Yeah, no, I definitely that would be an awesome place to even just visit and learn history about all the different things that are there. I think it can be dangerous for certain people that a lot of people don't understand. You test some of this stuff, things are strong. I mean, you test the wrong thing, you end up trying to test the wrong thing, you could really seriously injure yourself or someone else. It might not even be you it injures, but it might be a close relative or friend that can do some serious harm with. Even you got the War Museum that is extremely dangerous. Which I don't know if I would even have the guts to walk into that building. But and you got people that used to, or when they had the museum open to the public, would tempt or Annabelle the doll, and you hear on the news, I guess, like afterwards, someone would die in a motorcycle ride. Like the guy taunted the animal dog, got kicked out, driving home, crash. I mean, could be just coincidence, but it's happened a few times where something's happened, and I'm not willing to piss off something that can potentially take me out.
Yeah, no, I get that entirely. I mean, it's always thought about, attachments and stuff like that too, that you sometimes, don't feel that you have it, but then something all of a sudden changes. So that's why a lot of times when I leave a location, I go through it and say, okay, you have to stay here. You can't leave the location. You can't follow me home, stuff like that. And I think it might sound a little corny while you're in a location doing that, but you don't want to bring that stuff home with you because you don't want to be investigating your own home, which is the number one rule that we're not supposed to do anyway.
Nope. Nope. Yeah. No, I do a lot of the same things. I during the investigations, I do a lot of times I do allow stuff to use me, and I make it clear, hey, you can use my energy during the investigation, but as soon as I leave, you're no longer able to use this energy. And I don't know. They could just feel like, no, I'm not going to listen to you. I'm going to use your energy still. Like, I don't know how, like, if we have control over that or if they can just take, I don't know.
Now, some do
But
just take it, but there are ways where you just
sure.
ward them off.
Yeah. And I think I have a lot of stuff, even from using the past Ouija board back when I was younger, that have stuck with me even till now. And it's not fun, but I live with it and I deal with it, and it's gotten a lot worse since doing the paranormal stuff. So I might have to go get cleansed here shortly.
Yeah,
I think
that's
it might
always
be
a good
smart.
thing. Definitely, because you don't want to bring that stuff to other locations. 'Cause then other
No.
people start looking at you like, oh, well, who's the last person in? And now all of a sudden we got this going on. And
Yep.
yeah, it's something to definitely be careful of. Because I know with Bill's building, I know we were at Edinburgh Manor, and the very next day, um, we went to Bill's place, and Cat immediately, saged us and cleansed us right away before we even entered Bill's building. So,
That's good. Yeah. I think, yeah. Yeah, I haven't had any. I don't think I've had any issues at Bills yet. There was, there is times where you feel like nothing's coming towards you.
mm-hmm.
Like I've had it a lot, like when I was early starting, and I was like, man, I don't get anything, but everyone else around me gets stuff. And they're like, and someone mentioned to me, Brandon, could it be whatever's been with you for however long? I'm like, that's a good point. If it's strong enough and dark enough, because we've learned that it's not of this earth, it's not good. I've had some bad encounters. I don't even like to talk about it too much because I don't want to give it power to.
All right.
So, but yeah, no, yeah, I try to tell it to stay home when I leave for investigations and stuff, and that it can't come with me. Um, but who knows if that actually works?
Oh yeah, that's true. I mean, and I've also got mixed up of having like rocks and crystals and stuff like that. Um, there's people like, yeah, you might want to bring this to this location because we've had some evil entities in this location. Okay, so I bring some along with me. What happens? Absolutely nothing. Deader than a doornail. Like nothing
Yeah,
would happen. Sounds like okay. That's the last time I'm bringing stuff like that. If anything, I'll keep it out in the car if I need it.
yeah,
But
sure.
I mean, it totally killed the location for me. So,
Yeah, and that's kind of what it was happening to me. It felt like whatever who- his whatever he is or whatever how much power he has, I think for a while was pushing back everything else. It was kind of like nothing wanted to come near me.
hmm
I think, and then I think it's gotten a lot better since not really giving him power because we used to do a lot with him, and I think it gave him a lot of power and a lot of stuff. And I was having some terrible, was it sleep paralysis? I was having nightmares. I mean, I got choked one night. So it was bad, rough.
jeez.
So I try not to say his name, talk about him much. I mean, it does come up sometimes, but
No, I get that. I get that.
so
Uh, let's see here. It's a little bit after 9 o'clock. Um, just a last couple questions here for you. So what is the one object in the whole world that you would never want to be haunted?
like that's not already haunted or
Yep, it's not haunted, but what is one object you would never want to be haunted?
one object I would never want to be haunted.
Anything in this whole world.
Anything in this whole world. Oh man, that's a tough one. One object.
If it helps, number one answer is toilet.
That would suck. Oh man. Anything. I mean, I definitely an object that I would not want to be haunted. Probably have to be like, if I had to say one thing, it would probably be like my pillow or something. Because I gotta sleep on that thing every night. And if I gotta sleep on there, I'm about to get nightmares every night. And sleep paralysis, probably. That would be terrible for anyone. I mean, imagine just, buying a pillow and it being haunted, then trying to switch to another pillow and it just hop from that pillow to the next pillow and you never have another good night of sleep.
Uh, I'm giving you credit. Credit's due. That's due. No one's ever mentioned a haunted pillow.
That'd be
Ever.
terrible.
I have to bring that up on another podcast next time. I like that answer. Good answer. Um, I should say on the flip side, what would you want to be haunted? Me, I would like to have my car haunted and just let it drive. Take me to
That would be awesome. You don't have to pay for a Tesla at that point.
right. Or I guess you
Oh,
consider a Tesla haunted.
yeah, I guess you can. Yeah. Some of them get their minds of their own. That's what I'm waiting for one of these days is to get technology so advanced that it gets that mind of its own. One thing I would want haunted. Oh man, that's a good one. I don't know. Fuck. I'm like looking around, see if I notice anything that I would want haunted.
I mean, at least use it to your advantage, at least.
Yeah, that's how I was gonna say like a keyboard, so if like I had a report to write or something. Maybe my computer so it could do all the editing for me if it was, but I don't know. Yeah, no, that's a good one. I think I'll have to think more on that.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'll
But
have you back on here plenty of times down the road. I
yeah.
mean, I always like to bring people back 6 months down the road and see how things have changed and how things have been. It's like a 6 month checkup in a way, like when you go to a dentist. You
Oh
know.
yeah.
Um. So I always like to ask the viewers, like, they watch these shows, and I always like to have my guests give one of those like amazing, like, just what's the word I want to use? Um, One good piece of advice to tell everybody that's just getting into the paranormal field. And what's one of the advices that you could give to them and say, hey, this is an awesome piece of advice. I heard it on the show. And what would be your piece of advice?
I think my piece of advice is always going with the good act. I mean, these things feed off. If it's a place you're going evil, it's gonna feed off negative energy. I mean, it's gonna try to scare you. Always have a good attitude. Go with people that are also have good energy and attitudes and stuff because you go into a negative place, it's gonna feed off that and it's gonna hurt. It could potentially be dangerous and not fun for you. I mean, even going into good places like Broadhead, it's it's a good spirited place. You're gonna get more activity if you have a good time and a good attitude. I mean, and just having fun. Like we'll do dance parties there. We'll crank up the music and have a whole party for an hour and a half. I mean, we'll have
Right.
fun. And let me tell you, every time afterwards, we've had some great evidence and great investigations. I mean, it's worked for us every time. And it's healthy for you. I mean,
Hmm.
you have a good time. It's your spirits. You're in a much better mood. I think if you always go in with a positive attitude, you're going to have a far better time than if you go in with a negative attitude or doubts or fear. I mean, everyone's always going to have a little bit of fear in them, but overshadow that with your happiness and you're excited. You should be excited. You're going to a brand new place you haven't been to. If you're starting out new, something you haven't done yet, it's gonna be scary. I was scared. I mean,
Yeah.
I got thrown in right into Joliet, and my first investigation with strictly paranormal was Felicia. I was in the house by myself for a certain amount of time. I was scared, but we always had try to have good fun times, do some. I think that's a key. Um, Having a good attitude going into this stuff because you never know what you're dealing with. So
Yeah.
got to keep
Yeah.
your attitude
Wonderful
and
piece of
energy up.
advice. Yeah. I absolutely agree at 100%. Your attitude and your energy coming to the place makes all the bit of difference. Absolutely. And with Bill's place, it's number one is be their good attitude. If you're there with a bad attitude, he's going to say, get out of my
Yeah,
building.
yeah,
Plain and
yeah,
simple.
yeah. And even at Broadhead, there is stuff you do not want to piss off. I mean,
Oh,
I've
yeah.
seen I've seen people get messed up from the elementals there,
Yeah.
and it's kind of funny to see them because they're already doing the wrong stuff as is, and it's kind of like, all right, yeah, fuck, like mess them up, like like who cares?
Yeah, I've gotten scratched twice there at Bill's place.
Oh wow,
Both times were in the janitor's location. I've gotten, and my first time even being there, 5 minutes into the janitor's room, I got scratched behind my ear, which is weird. And
Yeah,
then the last time I was there, I got scratched in the up in my elbow area because I was up on top by the rafters, or not the
okay,
rafters,
yeah. I know what you're talking
above
about.
his. Yeah,
Workbenches area. Yep.
yeah, right up above with all the grates and stuff. I was stepped
Yep.
up there, and I felt like something was scratching me in the elbow there. So, but other
Yeah.
than that, haven't had any negative stuff there. So,
No, yeah. I don't think we've had a lot of like, I guess the janitor always never wants to talk. I mean, we try to be as polite as possible. We tell him. I mean, we went in there one time and we said, "Hey, let us know if you don't want to talk, and we'll leave this area." And he said, clear as day, right to Spirit Talker, "I don't want to talk to you guys." Right after we said that, and I was like, "Sounds good. We'll leave. We'll go somewhere else." I mean, we've had the elementals that kind of said, "We've been here for 1,000 years. Why would we talk to you?" And I
yeah,
was like, "Fair. All right.
right,
Can we talk to the kids at least?" Um, so yeah, no, definitely. I try to um, have a good, especially with the respect I have for Bill and them. I mean, I try to respect Broadhead. I love going back to Broadhead, and I try to respect everything there. So hopefully
right.
one day the elementals will want to talk. If they do, hopefully the janitor. I would love to have a conversation with the janitor. That'd be awesome. Maybe I just got to bring him a cigar next time.
See,
A
that's
short.
what I've been doing. I've been bringing cigars. Um, we talked about his tools, and he seemed to get excited about talking about his tools.
Yeah, that's a. I should. Yeah, I gotta probably bring that up next time too.
And what's so funny because I was just going through all the EVP sessions in that area, and we've got a lot of loud bangs in that area. And then it was like halfway through the hour that we were in there, and I said something, I don't know what it was to the fact, but all of a sudden you hear this little voice, "Get me out of here." I'm like, holy shit.
That's
Plain
wild.
as day.
That's wild.
Class A EVP, get me out of here. I
Wow.
think he was annoyed.
Oh yeah. Oh
So
yeah.
I have to send that one to Bill.
Yeah.
Um, but other than that, awesome show tonight. Definitely glad to get to have you on here, and so that way people get to know who you are. And with that, how can the people get a hold of you if they want to contact you or see your stuff? Just uh, say
Um.
your spiel there, or how to get a hold of you and watch your stuff.
Yeah, it's just strictly paranormal for all my platforms: TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. Those are the main three where I'm really focusing on right now. We got Instagram and Twitter, but don't worry about Twitter because I'm not using that. Instagram, I want to get involved in that more, but maybe this coming year. But TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, you can find us at Strictly Paranormal. Um, yeah, and just want to say also thank you for having me. It was very enjoyable. This is my first one, so
Ah,
first
there you go.
podcast interview, so it's an enjoyable experience. I'm excited to be on here whenever you have me next.
Oh yeah.
So,
Well, now you're not a podcast virgin anymore.
nope, yep, you're right. Pop my
That's the first time
cherry.
I got to say that too.
Well, awesome. Well, yep. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it so much.
Absolutely. So remember, guys, thank you for joining us tonight. You can catch us on the Paranormal Brew on Facebook, and you can catch us on the BB3 TV networks on Facebook and YouTube. Also, if you don't have Facebook, you can find me on MGS Paranormal on YouTube as well. So for Brandon and Darren, it's been nice to have you guys in chat. And yeah, we'll be coming up next week. Hey, Amy, how you doing? Thank you for joining. And next week, I believe I have Diet Renee on, so I will confirm that later on in the week. But other than that, thank you all for joining, and I bid you adieu. So long, everybody.